The chapter now, Lord's activities in Mathura and Dwarka are described. So, first sloka from this third chapter. Uddhava uvacha tataha sa agatya puram swapitro chikirshayasham baladeva samyutaha निपात्य तुंगाद रिपुयूथनाथम हतम व्यकर्षद व्यसुमोजसोर्व्याम. So now Uddhav is further describing about Lord's activities. First activity that, or one of the first activity of Lord in Mathura. Saha means Krishna. Tataha, thereafter, Krishna Puram agatya. So Puram means Mathura Puram ya Mathura Puryam agatya. Mathura Puri mein aakar. So why he, along with Baladeva Samyutaha, along with Balram, Saha Krishna Puram agatya. For what sake? Swapitroho Sham Chikirshaya. स्वयं के माता पिता स्वयं स्वपित्रोः शम मीन्स सुखम या कल्याणम चिकीर्षया, तो उनका कल्याण करने की इच्छा से. So for 11 years they were bereft of the association of the Lord. So to please them or for their happiness he arrived in Mathura, and then what he did? Tungat nipatya. किसको? रिपु यूथनाथ. रिपु यूथ यानी कि ग्रुप ऑफ एनिमीज. रिपु यूथ एंड उनके नाथ, हु फॉर कंसा. सो रिपु यूथनाथ तुंगात निपात्य. तुंगात मीन्स उसकी आसन से उसको खींचा. निपात्य मीन्स खींचा. एंड हतम मारा. एंड देन वी असुम का हो जाता है व्यसुम. तो असुन कतासुंश्च नानुशोचन्ति पंडिता. सो ऑल्दो ही वाज डेड, तो विगत सुन इति व्यसुम ओजसा बाय लॉर्ड्स स्ट्रेंथ ऊर्व्याम भूमि पर उसको क्या किया? व्यकर्षद, उसको घसीटते हुए भगवान लेके गए. So how hard-hearted one must become one's mama. He killed and then he was dragging him on the ground. So why he did like this? Only for Sham Swapitrohu Chikirshaya. So Lord's parents were afraid. How can our 11-year child kill Kamsa who has so much strength? So they were doubtful on one hand, and they were not sure whether Kamsa was killed or no. So in order to prove them, he is dead now, I am dragging him on the earth. So this is the Sridhar Swami's Tika. Tritiye Mathuram itya vrajat Kamsa vadhadikam yatkrutam dvarakayam cha krishnena tad avarnayat. So in this third chapter, Mathuram etya. Etya means agatya. Vrajat Kamsa vadhadikam. So Vraj se Mathura में आकर Kamsa इत्यादि कंस को मारना, vadhadikam. Yat kritam dvarakayam cha. So in Dwarka also he performed activities. Krishnena tad avarnayat. So that is described in this third chapter. So this first sloka, Sham iti avyayam pitroho sham chikirshaya. So pitroho sham means sukhasya chikirshaya iti artha. So tungat ripu yuthanatham tungat nipatyat. Tungat means raja manchat. So he was sitting on the throne. Ripu yuthanam natham. So kamsam Vyasoho api. So he was dead, although he was dead, Vasahu api vikarshanam, why he dragged pitroho sukhartham, only to give pleasure and happiness to his parents. So, translation of this sloka. Sri Uddhav said, thereafter Lord Krishna went to Mathura city with Sri Baladev, and to please their parents they dragged Kamsa, the leader of public enemies, Ripu Yutha, down from his throne and killed him, pulling him along the ground with great strength. All the words are translated. Ojasa, great strength. King Kamsa's death is only briefly described here because such pastimes are vividly and elaborately described in the 10th canto. The Lord proved to be a worthy son of his parents even at the age of 16 years. Both brothers, Lord Krishna and Lord Baldev, went to Mathura from Vrindavan and killed their maternal uncle, who had given so much trouble to their parents, Vasudev and Devaki. Kamsa was a great giant, and Vasudev and Devaki never thought that Krishna and Balram would be able to kill such a great and strong enemy. When the two brothers attacked Kamsa on the throne, their parents feared, and now Kamsa would finally get the opportunity to kill their sons, whom they had hidden for so long in the house of Nanda Maharaj. The parents of the Lord, due to parental affection, felt extreme danger and they almost fainted. Just to convince them that they had actually killed Kamsa, Krishna and Balram pulled Kamsa's dead body along the ground to encourage them. Sandhipanehe sakrut proktam brahmaditya savistaram tasmai pradadvaram putram mrutam panchajanodarat. So now Lord's activity after killing Kamsa. Sandhipanehe, Sandhipani ke kya sakrut proktam. Sakrut means once, only once spoken. Sakrut proktam, what? Brahma means Veda. And Savistaram. So in detail he spoke the Vedas once and then Adhitya. So that Saha Shabda, Krishna along with Balaram. So it is now coming in this sloka also. Saha Baladeva Samyutah. Kya tha word? Baladeva Samyutah. So these two words are applicable for this sloka also. So they studied the Vedas which were spoken in detail only once. And Tasmai, Tasmai means Sandipani Muniko. So Var Rupena, ya Putra Rupena Vara. So after learning that knowledge, so he offered his Guru Dakshina. So that is referred to Panchajana Udarat, from the belly of that demon. So he brought the dead son of Sandipani Muni back to life and gave it to his Guru. So Sridhar Swami speak up for this. Brahma Vedam Savistaram means Shadangadi Sahitam. So Vedas have 6 parts, that is told in one of the slokas. Shiksha Kalpo Vyakaranam Niruktam Chandasa Chayah Jyotisham Ayanam Chaiva Vedangani Shadevatu. So Shiksha, that is pronunciation, how exactly the word should be pronounced. Shiksha, Kalpa, Vyakaranam, Niruktam, Chandasa and Jyotish. These are the 6 aspects. So Shadangadi Sahitam. Pancha Janodara Vidarana Dvara Putram Aniya iti artha. So he killed that demon and then brought his teacher's son. Vedanga. The Lord learned all the Vedas with their different branches. So Sakrit, simply by hearing them once from his teacher Sandipani Muni, whom he rewarded by bringing back his dead son from the region of Yamalok. No one but the Supreme Lord can become well versed in all the branches of Vedic wisdom simply by hearing once from his teacher. Nor can anyone bring a dead body back to life after the soul has already gone to the region of Yamaraj. But Lord Krishna ventured to the planet of Yamalok and found the dead son of his teacher and brought him back to his father as a reward for the instructions received. The Lord is constitutionally well versed in all the Vedas, and yet to teach by example that everyone must go to learn the Vedas from an authorized teacher and must satisfy the teacher by service and reward, he himself adopted this system. The Lord offered his services to his teacher Sandipani Muni, and the Muni, knowing the power of the Lord, asked something which was impossible to be done by anyone else. The teacher asked that his beloved son, who had died, be brought back to him, and the Lord fulfilled the request. The Lord is not therefore an ingrate to anyone who renders him some sort of service. The devotees of the Lord who always engage in his loving service are never to be disappointed in the progressive march of devotional service. Samahuta bhishmaka kanyaya ye Shriyaha savarnena bubhushayesham Gandharva vrutyam ishatam svabhagam Jahre padam murni dadhat suparnaha.
Prabhuji, one question. What was the reference you read, Prabhuji, for Shad Vedangas?
So once again I will read. Shiksha kalpo vyakaranam niruktam chandasa chayah jyotisham ayanas chaiva vedangani shadevatu. So this is also available on the net. If you type only 2-3 words, it will come.
Every Veda has to be studied with all these aspects.
So now this sloka, Samahuta bhishmaka kanyayaye Shriyah savarnena bubhushayesham Gandharva vrutyam ishatam svabhagam Jashri padam murdhni dasat suparna. So Saha, now Krishna's activity about kidnapping Rukmini is mentioned here. So ye samahutaha bhishmaka kanyaya. So what is the vibhakti for bhishmaka kanyaya? Tritiya ekvachan. So Bhishmaka is the name of Rukmini's father. So daughter of King Bhishmaka. So by her ye samahuta. ऐसा नहीं हो सकता. She did not call ye means the Rajkumar or various kings from various kingdoms. So she did not invite them. So in the translation you will find there is a different word for samahuta. So it is samahrita, attracted by Rukmini. Ye bhishmaka kanyaya samahrita. So even in Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur's Tika, so it is mentioned Shashtyarthi Tritiya. So this is Vyakaran's sloka number 3. Bhishmaka kanyaya iti. Here you are able to read. Bhishmaka kanyaya iti Shashtyarthi Tritiya. So actually it is Shashti, but just to make the sloka in proper chanda, so it is made Tritiya. And now that this is assumed to be Shashti and then Shriyaha. If you श्री ये शब्द अगर विभक्ति में चलाते तो श्रिया इति षष्ठी एंड भीष्म कन्या इति षष्ठी। तो रुक्मिणी के, जो कि लक्ष्मी के साक्षात मूर्तिमान स्वरूप थी वो, उसके, तो उसके सवर्णेन, सवर्णेन यानी कि या सहोदरेन, उसके भाई ने, या एक मीनिंग ये भी दिया है सवर्णेन, रुक्मी और रुक्मिणी इन दोनों में 2 वर्ण कॉमन है, तो सवर्णेन। सो हर ब्रदर इनवाइटेड ऑल दिस किंग्स समाहुता, टेकिंग द word as it is samahuta, being invited by Rukmini's brother Rukmi for what? Bubhushaya. So विभूति ही भवतु इति इच्छया, तो मेरी बहन इनमें से एक राजा की विभूति बने। May my sister become the सौभाग्यवती, or they will receive the vibhuti, opulence of getting married to my sister. So bubhushaya, तो ये शाम मिशताम, मिशताम मीन्स यानी कि इनके देखते देखते, स्वभागम जर्हे, so Lord Krishna took his bhaga because Lakshmi belongs to him. So Lord took away, jarhe means he haran kiya. So in what way? Gandharva vritya. So out of the 10 types of marriages, one of the marriages is Gandharva Vivaha. So in that way, he took away Rukmini in front of everyone while they were seeing. So in what way? Suparnaha, Garuda, by putting the head on others, padam murdhni dadat, so he took away swabhagam jarhe. So इसका बहुत टीका दिया है, हाँ हाँ राक्षस विवाह में, इधर गांधर्व बोला है, ओके, यस, गुड ऑब्जर्वेशन. So maybe we will study there that time, but here it is Gandharva. So just to give you one detail, भीष्म का कन्या रुक्मिण्या ये राजानः समाहुतः ह्रस्वत्वम आर्षम. तो इधर श्लोक में देखेंगे तो समाहुता ये रस्व है, इट इज आर्ष प्रयोग, व्याकरण में वो दीर्घ होना चाहिए था. समाहृता इति पाठे आकृष्टा. So from here I told, so they were attracted by Rukmini. So keeping that Bhishma Kanya Tritiya as it is, so then the word should be Samahruta. So further explanation is also there. Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur also has almost 80% repeated all this. So we will not go to detail. Translation for this. Attracted by the beauty and fortune of Rukmini. So it is Samahuta, invited, ऐसा sense नहीं है. It is attracted. The daughter of King Bhishmaka, many great princes and kings assembled to marry her. But Lord Krishna, stepping over the other hopeful candidates, so Padam Murdhnim Dadat, so unke stepping over other hopeful candidates, carried her away as his own share. So Swabhagam Jarhe, as Garud carried away nectar. So only Suparna word is there. So other things should be understood. Like Princess Rukmini, the daughter of King Bhishmaka, was actually as attractive as fortune itself, because she was valuable as gold, both in color and in value. Since the goddess of fortune Lakshmi is property of the Supreme Lord, Rukmini was actually meant for Lord Krishna. But Shishupal was selected as her bridegroom by Rukmini's elder brother, although King Bhishmak wanted his daughter to be married to Krishna. Rukmini invited Krishna to take her away from the clutches of Shishupal. So when the bridegroom Shishupal came there with his party with the desire to marry Rukmini, Krishna all of a sudden swept her from the scene, stepping over the heads of all the princes there, just as Garud carried away nectar from the hands of the demigods. The incident of Krishna's kidnapping of Rukmini will be clearly explained in the 10th canto. Kakudmino vidhanasodamitva swayam vare nagnajitim uvaha tadbhagnamanan api grudhyatodnyan jagne kshatah shastrabhrutah swashastraihi. So here kukudminaha means unbridled bulls. So unbridled avidhanasa. Vidhanasa नाक में जो छोटी डोरी रहती है वो डाली नहीं थी ऐसे ही. अविद्धनस दमित्वा उनको कंट्रोल में लाकर दमित्वा स्वयंवरे नागजीतीम उवाह. सो इन द स्वयंवर श्री और लॉर्ड कृष्णा वन और प्राप्त किया नागनजीतीम नग्नजीत राजा की पुत्री. उसके साथ उवाह विवाह. तो ऐसा करने पर तद भग्न मानान अज्ञान. अज्ञान एक वर्ड है उसका मीनिंग. अज्ञान मीन्स नो नॉलेज, बट हियर अज्ञान इज वर्ड एज प्लूरल. उन अज्ञानियों द्वारा गृध्यते आक्रमण किए जाने पर. सो व्हाट हाउ वाज द लॉर्ड अक्षतः. He himself was not wounded even in one place. Akshatah. Then Shastra Bhrutah. So he is the best of the holder of the weapons. So Deha Bhruta, Shastra Bhruta. अर्जुन के लिए गीता में बोला था कि देह भृता, देहधारियों में श्रेष्ठ. So you are Shastra Bhruta. So in possessing the weapons he is best. Swashastraihi. So by his own weapons he Jagne means he hatavan. So he killed all those who were attacking on him when he decided to marry Nagnajiti. So here thoda sa tika, shloka number 4. Kakud mata, kakud या कुकुद मीनो वाला शब्द है तो कुछ जगह ककुद मत ये भी वर्ड है. वृषभान अविद्धनासिकान विद्धनासिकान कृत्वा इति वा तैः वृषभैः दम तद्दमनेन च भग्नो मानो येषाम. तो ये बैलों को कंट्रोल कर कर उनका मान भंग किया. तथापि उसके बाद भी तान गृध्यतः जो शब्द है वर्ब तो काम यमाना नाम. So those who are desiring to have Nagnajiti as their wife. Eva adnyan. So ataiva adnyan. So those foolish other kings. Shastra bhrutah rajniha tat shatraihi akshata eva. तो राजाओं के उन शस्त्रों के द्वारा जो घायल नहीं हुए थे या he was not being wounded. Ataiva jaghana. Therefore he killed all those. Translation for this. By subduing 7 bulls whose noses were not pierced, the Lord achieved the hand of Princess Nagnajiti in the open competition to select her bridegroom. Although the Lord was victorious, his competitors asked the hand of the princess, and thus there was a fight. Well equipped, so Shastra Bhrutah, with weapons, Swashastraihi, the Lord killed. So पहला word जो है जग्नि. The Lord killed all or wounded all of them, but he was not hurt himself. Priyam prabhur gramya iva priyaya विधत सुरार्छद द्युतरुम यदर्थे वज्र्याद्रवत्तं सगनो रुषान्धः क्रीडा मृगो नूनमयं वधूनाम् So Sah Krishna Gramya Iva. So as if ordinary man. So what he did? So Prabhu Gramya Iva, although Lord, but as if behaving like ordinary person. So Priyaya Priyam Vidhitsuhu. So Priyaya यानी कि अपनी प्रिया का सुख या प्रिय की इच्छा करने वाले. सो व्हाट ही डिड यद अर्थे, तो जिसके लिए उन्होंने क्या किया, द्यूतरुम आर्छद. द्यूतरुम इज पारिजात वृक्ष, तो हेवनली प्लैनेट में होने वाला पारिजात वृक्ष को उन्होंने आर्छद. आर्छद यानी कि उन्होंने चुराया या ब्रॉट. सो हियर एक्चुअली वज्र्याद्रवत्तम, तो इधर भी संधि है वज्री प्लस आद्रवत्तम. तो वज्री रिफर्स टू इंद्र. सो दैट वज्री सगणः along with his men, रुषांध who had become blind because of anger, रुषांधः. So Adravattam, he attacked. So Adravattam means along with his men he attacked. So Ayam, ya Noonam Ayam. So certainly Noonam Ayam means ये इंद्रम, इंद्र जो है, वधूनाम क्रीडा मृगः. वधूनाम means ladies in the hands of, because when Indra reported this to his wife, so she became angry. How can you allow this Parijat Vriksha to be taken by Krishna to have an earthly planet? So because being instigated by or controlled by Shachi and other ladies. So certainly he is a Rushandha and he is a Krida Mrugaha. So इसका भी थोड़ा सा टीका 5th श्लोका श्रीधर स्वामी टीका पर. यदादित्याः कुंडले धातुः स्वर्गम गतः. So he only complained initially, Indra complained to Krishna that your son Narkasur has stolen my mother's kundal. So that incident is referred. Swatantro api gramyah Sri Paratantra iva. So like an ordinary man who is controlled by his wife, Priyayaha Satyabhamayaha Priyam Vidhatum ya Vidhatsuhu Ichuhu Dyutarum Parijatam Anitavan Yadarthe Yad Nimittam Tam Krishnam Vajri Sri Preritah Yodhum Anvadhavat. तो आद्रवत्तम योद्धुम अन्वधावत स्वकार्य साधकेन तेन युद्ध उद्यमः तस्य अयुक्त एव इति आह. So he should not have attacked. Indra should not have attacked. Therefore it is said Krida Mruga iva. Ayam means Vajri. Translation for this: just to please his dear wife, the Lord brought back the Parijat tree from heaven, just as an ordinary husband would do. But Indra, the king of heaven, induced by his wives, handpicked as he was, ran after the Lord with full force to fight him. So this incident is known. So second paragraph only. There was no fault on the part of the Lord, even though he took away the tree from the heavenly kingdom. But because Indra was handpicked, dominated by his beautiful wives like Shachi, he became a fool, just as all persons who are dominated by their wives are generally foolish. Indra thought that Krishna was a henpecked husband who only by the will of his wife Satyabhama took away the property of heaven, and therefore he thought that Krishna could be punished. Atmavat manyate jagat. So in one of the Digad, this line is quoted. He forgot that the Lord is the proprietor of everything and cannot be henpecked. The Lord is fully independent, and by his will only he can have hundreds and thousands of wives like Satyabhama. He was not therefore attracted to Satyabhama because she was a beautiful wife, but he was pleased with her devotional service and thus wanted to reciprocate the unalloyed devotion of his devotee. This is a nice sentence. Sutam mrudhekham vapushagrasantam drishtva sunabhon mathitam dharitrya amantritas tat tanayaya shesham dattva tadantah puram avivesha. So here a small sentence could be sa. Sa means referring to here Satyabhama or Dharitri. So sa Dharitri. तो वो धरित्री धरनी का पुत्र, तो उसके बारे में सुतम, तो उसके पुत्र मृधे मीन्स युद्धे. सो व्हाट इज द स्पेशलिटी ऑफ दिस सुतम? तो वपुषा खम ग्रसंतम, तो उसकी वपुषा, उसके फॉर्म से, आकार से, ही वॉज अबाउट टू स्वॉलो खम ग्रसंतम, तो आकाश को निगलने वाला था वो. तो ऐसा कौन था ये? नरकासुर के बारे में वर्णन है. तो धरनी का पुत्र भूमासुर, भूमि का पुत्र भूमासुर. सो सुनाभोन्मथितम, so being killed by सुनाभोन्मथितम. तो दृष्टवा, तो ये भूमि ने देखा. और फिर भूमि के लिए शब्द है धरित्र्या आमंत्रितस, आमंत्रितः. So being requested, आमंत्रितया प्रार्थयितः. So she requested that now the kingdom, whatever Krishna conquered, so some part he took to Dwarka and remaining part. तो तत्तनयाय, तो ये भौमासुर की पुत्र को दिया जाए, ऐसी प्रार्थना करने पर शेषम तत्तनयाय दत्वा. So whatever remaining portion he gave it to son of Bhaumasur Bhagadatta, and tad antahpuram avivesha, and then he entered into the inner chambers or inside quarters of Bhaumasura's palace. For what? That is will be explained in next sloka. So इसका थोड़ा सा टीका. सुनाभेन चक्रेण उन्मथितम हतम, तो भगवान ने अपने चक्र की द्वारा जिसको मारा था, तो वो कौन? सुतम भौमम दृष्ट्वा तस्य माता धरित्र्या भूम्या आमंत्रितः प्रार्थितः सन तस्य तत्तनयाय, तत्कार्थ तस्य तनयाय भगदत्ताय हृतशेषम राज्यम दत्वा. तो शेष क्यों कहा गया है? बिकॉज भौमासुर हैड brought or stored lot of wealth in his treasury. So lot of or major portion of it Krishna took to Dwarka, and remaining thing he handed over to Bhaumasura's son Bhagadatta. Narakasur, the son of Dharitri, the earth, tried to grasp the whole sky. तो सुतम खम ग्रसंतम या वपुषा खम ग्रसंतम. And for this he was killed by the Lord in a fight. His mother then prayed to the Lord. This led to the return of the kingdom to the son of Narkasur, and thus the Lord entered the house of the demon. It is said in other Puranas that Narkasur was the son of Dharitri, the earth, by the Lord himself, but he became a demon due to the bad association of Banasur, another demon. An atheist is called a demon, and it is a fact that even a person born of good parents can turn into a demon by bad association. So इसके लिए एक श्लोक भी कोट किया है टीका में, शुद्ध मातृ पितृकस्य अपि नरकस्य बाणासुर संगात कुबुद्धि उत्पन्ना इति, और एक नीति ग्रंथेषु उक्तम श्लोकम, दुष्टायः संगदोषेण सत्याश्च मति विभ्रमः यथैक रात्र संगेन काष्ठ घंटा गवाधृता. सो दुष्ट संग के दोष के कारण एक अच्छे व्यक्ति की भी मति भ्रमित हो जाती है. यथा एक रात्र संगेन काष्ठ घंटा गवाधृता. तो if the काष्ठ घंटा नी wooden that rod, if it is tied in the neck of a cow, she becomes controlled. So she, although very active, but if one night that rod is put in her throat, correct? तो एक रात्र के संग के कारण ही, just like an elephant also, if tied by a small chain, the tree and his leg. So because of that sangha, he thinks that now I am powerless. So the sangha of that chain makes the most powerful elephant, or even the cow who is very active, she also becomes very controlled. No, both are same. Banasur is different. So Narkasur, the son of bad association to Narkasur. Birth is not always the criterion of goodness unless and until one is trained in the culture of good association. One cannot become good. So power of association के लिए this example, शास्त्रीय example जरूर quote करना चाहिए. Other parrot example or so many other examples are quoted, but this should be quoted. तत्राहृतहास्ता नर देवकन्यः कूजेन दृष्ट्वा हरिमातर्बन्धुम् कूजेन दृष्ट्वा हरिम् आर्तबन्धुम् उत्थाय सद्यो जगृहुः प्रहर्षे उत्थाय सद्यो जगृहुः प्रहर्ष व्रीडानुराग प्रहितावलोकैः. So here Naradev Kanyaha and Tatra Hritaha. So previous sloka mentioned Lord Krishna Tad Antah Puraha Pravivesha. He entered into the inner quarters of Narkasura's palace. So Tatra, so in that Antapuraha, Taha Naradeva Kanyaha, wo Rajkumariya. So Naradeva Kanyaha, Kujena, to Narakena, Narkasur Dwara, Ahrutaha, kidnapped by Narkasur. So they saw here Naradeva Kanyaha, Harim, Artabandhum, Drushtva. So they saw the Lord, and by seeing, what did they do? Utthaya. So they immediately got up from their seats, and they, with their Vrida, Anurag, Prahitavalokaihi. So with these three things, so great pleasure, pehla bhi word actually, Praharsha, Vrida, Anurag, Prahitavalokaihi. So by their vrida means lajja, anuraga means prema, and prahita means inspired by these three things, and with their glances, avalokaihi, sadhya, sadhya means at that moment, tada eva, jagruhu, svikritavatyah, mama ayam eva vara. So here jagruhu. So just by seeing the Lord at that time, immediately they chose him to be their husband. So it's called tatraha antah pure kujena bhaumena ya narakena ya arutaha taha praharshascha vridacha anuragacha taihi prahitaha preritaha ye avalokaha taihi jagruhu. So just by seeing the Lord with affection and being inspired by all these three things, so immediately they chose him to be their husband. There, in the house of the demon, Tatra, all the princesses kidnapped by Narakasur at once became alert, Utthaya, upon seeing the Lord, the friend of the distressed, Artabandhum Harim Drushtva. They looked upon him with eagerness, joy, and shyness, and offered to be his wives. Narakasur kidnapped many daughters of great kings and kept them imprisoned in his palace. But when he was killed by the Lord, and the Lord entered the house of the demon, all the princesses were enlivened with joy and offered to become his wives, because the Lord is the only friend of the distressed, Artabandhum, because no other Rajkumar will accept them. So therefore Artabandhum. Unless the Lord accepted them, there would be no chance of their being married, because the demon kidnapped them from their father's custody, and therefore no one would agree to marry them. According to Vedic society, girls are transferred from the custody of the father to the custody of the husband. Since these princesses had already been taken away from the custody of their fathers, it would have been difficult for them to have any husband other than the Lord himself. Asam muhurta ekasmin nanagareshu yoshitam savidham jagruhe panin anurupah swamayaya. So here panin, so many hands. Pani means hand, one hand, panin, many hands. So Asam means Yoshitam, वो 16,100 राजकुमारियों को रेफर करते हुए आसाम एकस्मिन मुहूर्त 48 minutes. Last time we saw muhurta means, so within 48 minutes he married all of them. So ekasmin muhurte nana agareshu, so he created 16,100 palaces, agar. So he married, and savidham panin, so he married or accepted their hand by taking the form swamayaya anurupaha, whatever form every Rajkumari desired to have, that form Lord took and then married with all of them. All those princesses were lodged in different apartments, agareshu, and the Lord simultaneously assumed different bodily expansions exactly matching each and every princess. He accepted their hands in perfect rituals by his internal potency. So Lord accepted Swamayaya Anurupaha. That point Prabhupada explains. Next. Tasvapatyan janayad Atmatulyani sarvataha ekaikasyam dasha Prakrutir vibhubhushaya. So tasu, actually the word is tasu apatyani ajanayat. Tasu means in all those 16,100 princesses. So ajanayat, so he begot. Apatyani eka ekasyam dasha dasha apatyani atma sarvataha atmatulyani. So in all respects sarvataha atmatulyani dasha dasha apatyani ajanayet. So what is the instrumental case for ajanayat? Prakrutehe vibhubhushaya. So desiring to become many like him. So with that ichha, prakrutehe vibhubhushaya. Just to expand himself according to his transcendental features, the Lord begot in each and every one of them 10 offspring with exactly his own qualities. Kal Maghad Shalvadin Anikai Rundhatah Puram Ajighanat Swayam Divyam Swapumsam Teja Adishat. तो काल यवन को रिफर करते हुए काल, मागध मगध नरेश जरासंध मागध, शाल्व who attacked Dwarka. Shalva did not attack Mathura, but these two personalities, Kalyavan and Jarasandh. 18th time from west direction Jarasandh attacked, and from east direction Kalyavan attacked. So Lord took decision of not fight with any one of them, but from one he ran away. Kalyavan started chasing the Lord, and Jarasandh also started chasing the Lord, and Lord climbed on a hill or a mountain, and Shalva attacked Dwarka. So Anikaihi, with their armies, when they surrounded Puram Rundhatah. So Swayam Ajighanat, in some cases he personally killed, or second option Swapumsam, स्वयं की जो लोग थे, स्वपुंसाम दिव्यम तेजम आदिशद, and then he made his people kill the enemies. In some cases personally, in some cases he empowered his people to kill the enemies. Kalyavan, the king of the Maghad and Shalva, attacked the city of Dwarka, but when the city was encircled by their soldiers, the Lord refrained from killing them personally, just to show the power of his own men. So in some cases it is mentioned, some cases he killed personally, in some cases he made his people kill the enemies. Prabhupada is taking only one meaning. So Lord refrained from killing them personally. So Swayam Ajighanat, but Swapumsam Divyam Teja Adishat. So I think we will not read the purport of some of the slokas, because I plan to cover this chapter today's sitting. In next 2 days then we will cover 4th chapter. Shambaram Dvividham Banam Muram Valam Evacha Anyamscha Danta Vakradin Avadhit Kamscha Ghatayata. So Shambarasur, he is the one who kidnapped Pradyumna as soon as he was born to Rukmini and Krishna's son. And later on, Pradyumna and Rati, they meet, and then Shambarasur gets killed. So Dvividh was killed by Balramji. Banasur also was killed by Krishna himself. So Muradiman Balval, Anyamscha Danta Vakradin Avadhit. So Avadhit he personally, and Kamscha Ghatayat. Kam Hanti. In Gita also, how can the soul kill or engage someone else to be killed? So here Swayam Avadhit and Kamscha Ghatayat, कि कुछ लोगों का घात करवाया दूसरे के थ्रू और कुछ लोगों को खुद मारा. Of kings like Shambhara, Dvividha, Bana, Mura, Balvala and many other demons such as Dantavakra, some he killed himself and some he caused to be killed by others, Sri Baldev and etc. Yes? As I mentioned, Lord Krishna's and Rukmini's first son, Pradyumna, was kidnapped by Shambharasur, and he was also later on killed, either by Pradyumna or Krishna himself, I forgot. But Shambharasur, who kidnapped Pradyumna, was killed. It is there, 55th chapter. I also was forgetting the details. Yesterday I saw, and then I am quoting. As far as I know, only Dwarka mein kiya tha. But Prabhupada is adding in Mathura. Sometimes Mathura, Dwarka interchangeably, Yamuna, Ganga interchangeably words are used. इसका पढ़ लिया. अथते भ्रातृपुत्राणाम पक्षयोः पतितान् नृपान् चचाल भूकुरुक्षेत्रम् येषाम् आपतताम् बलैः. तो अनंतरम, अथ मीन्स अनंतरम, ते भ्रातृपुत्राणाम. So who is saying to whom this shloka? So Uddhav is saying, te means tava भ्रातृपुत्राणाम, आपके दोनों भाइयों के पुत्रों का. तो पक्षयोः, उभयोः, दो पक्ष जो बने, तो नृपान पतितान. So those who accepted one of the parties of your son or your brother's sons. So भू चचाल, तो भूमि को उन्होंने कंपित किया. कुरुक्षेत्रम भू चचाल येषाम आपतताम बलैहि. तो इनके बल के द्वारा, स्ट्रेंथ के द्वारा ये भूमि भी कांपने लगी, कांप रही थी. Then, O Vidur, the Lord caused all the kings, both the enemies and those on the side of your fighting nephews, to be killed in the battle of Kurukshetra. All those kings were so great and strong that the earth seemed to shake as they traversed the war field. So now shloka number 13th. Sakarna dushasana saubalanam kumantra pakena hatashriyayusham suyodhanam sanucharam shayanam bhagnórumurvyam nananda pashan. So here the word saha from the first shloka is still present here, but invisible form. So saha Krishnaha urvyam suyodhanam bhagna urum shayanam pashan nananda. So that Lord भूमि पर urvyam shayanam लेटा हुआ. And what is the adjective for suyodhanam? भग्न उरुम, तो जिसका थाई was भग्न. तो ऐसा सुयोधन सानुचरम, तो अपने भाइयों के साथ. तो ऐसे दुर्योधन को भूमि पर 18th डे को देखने के बाद भी पश्चन सह कृष्ण न ननंद, तो ऐसा उसको मरने ही वाला है ऐसी अवस्था में देखकर भी भगवान आनंदित नहीं हुए। सो व्हाट इज द सुयोधनम की विशेषण क्या है? सकर्ण दुशासन सौबलानाम कुमंत्र पाकेन हत श्रियायुषम। तो कर्ण, दुशासन और शकुनी के कुमंत्र पाकेन, सो देयर बैड एडवाइस के द्वारा, हत श्री, those who were bereft of opulence, and ayusham. So I say sanucharam suyo. The small sentence is sah Krishna na nanand. He was not happy seeing Duryodhan on or about to die. Duryodhan was bereft of his fortune and duration of life. To hata shriya yusham. Because of the intricacy of ill advice given by Karna, Dushasana and Saubala. When he lay on the ground with his followers, his thighs broken, although he was powerful, the Lord was not happy to see the scene. So,
the question is asked, why Suyodhan word is used for Duryodhan?
So I had to read the Tika carefully, and I don't know now, as of now. Because of Dhritarashtra's attachment, Dhritarashtra must have named him Suyodhan, and later on his activities proved to be Duryodhan. सुबल ये गांधारी और शकुनी के पिताजी का नाम है। तो उनके पुत्र, जैसे कुंती के कौंतेय, सुबल का सौबल, और गांधारी के लिए सौबला। शकुनी के लिए ये, शकुनी के लिए, हाँ शकुनी की वजह से ही तो हुआ सब। हाँ शकुनी के लिए वो सुबल राजा का पुत्र सौबल, जैसे कुंती का पुत्र कौंतेय, ऐसा वृद्धि हो जाता है, ऊ का औ हो जाता है, तो सु का सौ हो जाता है। So we'll stop here for 5 minutes. This chapter has 28 slokas, 13 are covered. और so one reason Prabhupada gives why Krishna was not happy is because Lord is softer than the soft lotus petals, therefore he was not happy. But if you read the next sloka, it will get clear. Kiyan bhuvoyam krapitoru. In English you just read Yadrona Bhishmarjuna Bhima Mulaihi Ashtadashakshau Hiniko Madamshaihi Aste Balam Durvishaham Yadunam. तो यहाँ पर अयम भूवः या अयम कियान, दैट वर्ड इज टुगेदर, अयम कियान. तो भूमि का उरुभार क्षपित, बहुत जो भार हुआ था वो कम कर दिया. तो किसकी द्वारा? यद द्रोण भीष्म अर्जुन भीम मूलैहि. तो पांडवों की सेना में जो उरुभार था वो द्रोण और भीष्म इन्होंने कम कर दिया, और कौरवों के साइड में जो ज्यादा भार था वो भीमा और अर्जुन इन दोनों ने कम कर दिया. और इस प्रकार अष्टादश अक्षौहिणीक, तो ये भार कम कर दिया. लेकिन मद अंशे ही, मेरे जो एक्सपांशंस है, तो यदु नाम दुर्विषहम बलम आस्ति. लेकिन ये यदुओं का बल जो कोई भी झेल नहीं सकता. दुर्विषहम सोढ़ुम अशक्यम, सहन करना जो कठिन है, ऐसा बल जो है वो अभी भी है. आस्ते, अभी भी विद्यमान है. इसलिए न ननंद, अभी भी यदुओं का भार कम नहीं हुआ है. तो इस श्लोक का तात्पर्य बहुत विश्वनाथ चक्रवर्ती ठाकुर का अच्छा है. तो एक क्वेश्चन आ सकता है मन में कि एक्चुअली यदु तो अधर्मी नहीं थे. Other kings were very irreligious, therefore they were burdensome. So this earth can take the load of big mountains and oceans, or very heavy objects. So why she will not take the load of human beings? But those human beings who were very irreligious, उनका बर्डन पृथ्वी के लिए भारी था. So ये थोड़ा सा विश्वनाथ चक्रवर्ती ठाकुर का टीका में क्लियर हो जाएगा. सो 13th श्लोका का बड़ा प्रभाव है ये. 14th का तत्र हेतु कियान. तो कमिंग बैक टू द श्लोका, तो अयम कियान, ये अष्टादश 18 अक्षयोनी सेना का भार कम हुआ, लेकिन वो कितना है? अभी भी ये यदु नाम दुर्विषहम बलम आस्ते. सो दैट इज द भाव हियर नाउ. सो कियान इति यतः द्रोणादिभिर मूलैहि. तो ये भार कम हो गया है. तो इसका पूरा नहीं पढ़ूंगा मैं. ननु भूभारः तावत् व्यक्ति बाहुल्येन न स्यात्. तो व्यक्तियों का भार इतना नहीं है. पर्वत समुद्रादि नाम तत्र प्राचुर्यात्, क्योंकि पर्वत और समुद्र भी बहुत है कंपैरिजन में वेट. किंतु अधार्मिका प्राचुर येन एव तेच अधार्मिका भगवता संहृता एव. तो जो अधार्मिक थे उनका मारकर भार कम करना ये ठीक है. न यदुकुलस्य अधार्मिकत्वम वाच्यम. यदुकुल के लोग अधार्मिक पद्धति से बिहेव कर रहे थे ऐसा सुना नहीं है. वाच्यम भगवत परिकर रूपत्वात्, बिकॉज दे वर द एसोसिएट्स ऑफ द लॉर्ड. तो ब्रह्मण्यानाम वदान्यानाम नित्यम रुद्धोपसेविनाम, ये 11th कैंटो का श्लोक है. ये विश्वनाथ चक्रवर्ती ठाकुर के 13th श्लोक के टीका में भी इधर आया है. तो जस्ट टीका दिखाता हूं मैं, जस्ट एग्जैक्ट रेफरेंस 11th कैंटो का. तो यहां पर The burden of the earth is not produced by the abundance of oceans and mountains, but rather by the prominence of irreligious persons. The Lord decreased such irreligious persons. One cannot also say that the Yadus were irreligious, since they are eternal associates of the Lord. This is understood from the following verse. I will just read the translation. How could the Brahmanas curse the Vrishnis, who were always respectful to the Brahmanas, charitable and inclined to serve seniors, and whose minds were always absorbed in Krishna? So another sloka. Absorbed in Krishna while seeing or while sleeping, sitting, walking, speaking, playing, bathing and eating, they did not know that they existed. So now something from the Tika. So the burden is of two types. So here, bhara hi dvividha bhavati, dukkha rupaha sukha rupascha. So prathamaha dussah, dvitiyastu suvah. Or yatha yuvatyaha swa ramanasya bharah. A man carries a woman. Yatha cha abalaya matra. A mother carries the load of child. Swapotasya krode, in her arms. Yatha cha vanija shirasi dhritasya swadhanasya bharah. So ye teen example. So they don't feel that bhar. Although it is, but they don't feel. Kimcha alpa balena janena swasmad ati bahulha. But if that person who is carrying, he is not very strong. Alpa balena janena swasmad ati bahulha sukharupaha api bharaho vodhum na shakyate. But if the person is carrying, he is durbal, then this bhar he cannot carry for the long time. Yatha parama dharmikasya mahabhagavatasya tapo baladhikyam avish kurvatha. So Dhruva Maharaj example diya hai. So how Dhruva Maharaj's weight was not bearable to the earth. And another example is given, just like a woman carries jewelry on her body, which is also heavy, but that is she puts that jewelry on her body only on certain occasions. She doesn't put that jewelry all the time. Whenever some special function is there, that time she puts and then she removes it. So similarly, the bhar of Yadus is like this ornament on the woman's body. So that is mentioned in this sloka. Here. Thus the burden of the Yadus should not be considered a burden on the earth in the sense of causing suffering. It is similar to the following situation. Though ornaments are heavy burden for a young woman, the weight of ornaments are put temporarily on her limbs during festivals by her affectionate lover. This is always done according to the circumstance. Thus the Devatas who had entered their amshas into the forms of the Yadus, who were eternal associates of the Lord, left from Dwarka and disappeared at Prabhas, while the eternal associates remained invisible in Dwarka. So this is the actual relation with this sloka. While Lord was not happy, it is mentioned previously. So translation for this. After the end of the battle of Kurukshetra, the Lord said, the abatement of the earth's great burden, or reducing that weight, 18 aksha yonis has now been effected with the help of Drona, Bhishma, Arjun and Bhima. But what is this? Ayan kiyan. Kiyan is prashnarthak shabda hai. Kati, kiyat and kiyat. There is still the great strength of the Yadu dynasty born of myself, which may be a more unbearable burden. So actual answer is here, but in the previous purport Prabhupada mentions here. The Lord is constrained to award punishment upon the wrongdoer, but he is not happy to award such punishments because the living entities are originally his parts and parcels. एक रीजन प्रभुपाद ये देते हैं, but actual reason ये श्लोक में आता है. that Lord wanted to remove yadus from the surface of the earth. So इसका बहुत heavy बड़ा purport है. So all the things which I briefly mentioned, they are there in the purport. So you can later on personally read. Submit. Right. मिथो यदेषां भविता विवादो मध्वा मदात्ताम्र विलोचनानाम् नैषां वधोपाय यान् अतोऽन्यो मय्युद्यते अंतर्दधते स्वयं स्म. So here, येषाम मिथः विवाद भविता, तो इनमें आपस में ही कुछ विवाद अगर हो जाता है तो मधु मदा या मधु अमदा, तो ये मदिरा पीकर, ताम्र विलोचना नाम, तो उनकी आंखें they become like ताम्र, copper, like copper red. न एषाम इयत अन्यः वध उपाय, इनका वध करने का दूसरा कोई अन्य उपाय नहीं है. तो दिस इज मई उद्यते, इफ आई डू संकल्प, उद्यते, और इफ आई externally preparation and internal preparation in the mind, मई उद्यते स्वयं अंतर्धते स्म. So they just by desiring to have, they getting vanquished or invisible, becoming invisible from the surface of the earth, it will happen. So that is the sense. When they quarrel among themselves, the first line, मिथः विवाद भविता यद ईशाम, जब इनका आपस में विवाद हो जाएगा. Influenced by intoxication, madhu amada, with their eyes red like copper because of drinking madhu, that liquor, then only will they disappear, otherwise it will not be possible. On my disappearance, this incident will take place. So further you will read one sloka. Lord personally saw they fighting, लेकिन इधर मेंशन है कि आफ्टर आई डिसाइड, तो जरा श्लोक रेफर करेंगे तो during the presence of Krishna only it happened. So one thing that Samba imitates a pregnant woman's body, and then that iron mask, and then it is उसका पाउडर बना के फेंक दिया जाता है. And actually this whole incident was not reported to Krishna by Ugrasen Maharaj. This is one thing. So Mattah smritir jnanam apohanam cha, from me comes knowledge, remembrance and forgetfulness. So Lord wanted that he should not report, and because of that everything happened. So it was Lord's wish that Ugrasen Maharaj, who was so honored, revered by Krishna, but he behaved with him like this. The Lord and his associates appear and disappear by the will of the Lord. They are not subjected to the laws of material nature. No one was able to kill the family of the Lord, nor was there any possibility of their natural death by the laws of nature. The only means, therefore, for their disappearance was the make show of a fight amongst themselves, as if brawling in intoxication due to drinking. That so-called fighting would also take place by the will of the Lord, otherwise there would be no cause for their fighting. Just as Arjuna was made to be illusioned by family affection, and thus the Bhagavad Gita was spoken, so the Yadu dynasty was made to be intoxicated by the will of the Lord and nothing more. The devotees and associates of the Lord are completely surrendered souls. Thus they are transcendental instruments in the hands of the Lord and can be used in any way the Lord desires. The pure devotees also enjoy such pastimes of the Lord because they want to see him happy. Devotees of the Lord never assert independent individuality. On the contrary, they utilize their individuality in pursuit of the desires of the Lord, and this cooperation of the devotees with the Lord makes a perfect scene of the Lord's pastimes. Evam sanchintya bhagavan स्वराज्ये स्थाप्य धर्मजं नन्दयामास सुहृदः साधूनां वर्त्मदर्शयन्. तो उद्धव जी सेइंग इन दिस श्लोका, भगवान एवं संचिंत्य, इस प्रकार भगवान सोचते हुए. तो बुद्धवा इज अ वेरी स्पेशल पर्सन हु was always with the Lord. Almost only sleeping time there are separate होंगे, otherwise just like a shadow. So therefore he knew what was going on in the Lord's mind, and he is telling the previous two slokas. तो इस प्रकार सोचते हुए, so भगवान या एवं भगवान संचिंत्य, तो धर्मजम, धर्मजम means युधिष्ठिरम, स्वराज्ये स्थाप्य, तो स्वयं के राज्य में या पूरा पृथ्वी भगवान का ही राज्य है, तो उसको सम्राट बनाकर, स्थाप्य स्थापयित्वा, तो साधु नाम वर्त्म दर्शयन, तो साधु लोगों को अच्छा मार्ग दिखाते हुए, सुहृद नंदयामास, अपने सुहृदों को उन्होंने आनंदित किया. Lord Sri Krishna, thus thinking to himself, Bhagwan evam sanchintya, established Maharaj Yudhishthir in the position of supreme control of the world in order to show the ideal administration on the path of piety. So that नंदयामास सुहृदः, तो वो पोर्शन ट्रांसलेशन में थोड़ा नहीं रिफ्लेक्ट हो रहा है. करेक्ट सोनार गौरंग को? ओके, एनीवेज. उत्तरायां धृतः पुरोर वंशः साध्वभिमन्युना स वै द्रौण्यस्त्र संप्लुष्टः पुनर्भगवता धृतः. तो हाँ, माइक ऑनलाइन वाले भक्तों को समझ में नहीं आएगा.
15th वाले श्लोक में बताया ना कि जैसे आफ्टर माई डिसअपीयरेंस, लाइक दैट इज टोल्ड, बट वी सी लाइक इन बीबीटी देयर इज वन फोटो वेयर कृष्ण एंड बलराम लिफ्टिंग स्टिक्स एंड किलिंग. तो ये फोटो भी है. तो और यहाँ पर ऐसा मेंशन नहीं हुआ कि लाइक ऐसा कहीं मेंशन है कि दे एक्चुअली किल्ड देम.
10th कैंटो जरा 11th कैंटो जरा स्टडी करना पड़ेगा.
एटलीस्ट फोटो, या वो फोटो इज देयर इन द बीबीटी दैट कि वो तो है अवेलेबल. राइट, दिखा सकते हैं.
हाँ, आई नो.
So means वो sticks, iron sticks आता है, and then they were fighting each other, and then Krishna and Balaram also come, and then they.
So at least that this shloka translation is not matching with that picture.
What exactly happened? Means Krishna Balaram came there, and it is mentioned somewhere.
Right now I cannot comment. I need to study 11th canto carefully.
And even if we see the translation of Prabhupada, on my disappearance, this event will take place. So it does not mean that it happened after disappearance. Simultaneously, ऐसा बोल सकते हैं.
Yes.
So
that is sure.
Yeah. So it is not clear that कि after his disappearance ऐसा कुछ है नहीं. But as a reference is not clear that कि whether Krishna and Balaram did.
It means on my disappearance. It means that it going to happen after disappearance of Lord Krishna.
हाँ, ऐसा नहीं है, लेकिन बोल रहे वो पिक्चर में तो वो लड़ते हुए भी दिखाया है. हाँ, so Yadus got annihilated in the presence of Krishna. Yes, it will come now ahead. So here, पुरोहो वंशः, so अभिमन्यु, साधु अभिमन्यु, तो उत्तरायाम धृतः, तो उत्तरा के गर्भ में होने वाला पुरु वंश का आखिरी 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 किंग या वंशज. So he was almost सह, that is परीक्षितः, वही ही एकदम certainly द्रौण्यास्त्र संप्लुष्टः. So it was certainly destroyed by the astra of Drauni, Dronacharya's son Ashwatthama. Bhagavataha punaha dhritaha. But because of Lord's power, or Bhagavata punaha dhrita, dhritaha means savrakshitaha. In this verse, two words, or two times the same word is coming, dhritaha. But in one place, the meaning is dharan kiya hua, and another place the meaning is savrakshit, suraksha diya gaya. So these two meanings for the same word according to the sandarbha context. The embryo of Puru's descendant begotten by the great hero Abhimanyu in the womb of Uttara, his wife, was burnt by the weapon of the son of Drona, but later he was again protected by the Lord. So this also comes in first canto, here also. So we'll not read the purport, you can read personally. Ayajayad dharma sutam ashvamedhais tribhir vibhuhu sopi ksham anujahe rakshan reme krishnam anuvratah. So vibhuhu tribhihi ashvamedhaihi धर्म सुतम अयाजयद. तो भगवान ने विभु 3 अश्वमेधों के द्वारा या अश्वमेधों को धर्मराज युधिष्ठिर के द्वारा करवाए. एंड सह अपि अनुजयि क्षाम. सो सह मीन्स युधिष्ठिर. सो युधिष्ठिर also Krishnam Anuvratah. So he was also follower of Lord Krishna. Bhumi Palanena Tat Pritim Upalaksha. So while seeing by what way the Lord will be pleased. So Krishnam Anuvratah Anujaihi Bhimadihi Saha Ksham. Ksham means Prithvim. Prithvi ko Rakshan. So Rakshan word is there while protecting the earth. Reme means he ruled. The Supreme Lord induced the son of Dharma to perform 3 horse sacrifices, and Maharaj Yudhishthir constantly following Krishna. Krishnam Anuvratah. The personality of Godhead protected and enjoyed the earth, assisted by his younger brothers. Bhagavan api Vishvatma लोक वेद पथानुगः कामान शिशिवे द्वारवत्याम असक्तः सांख्यमास्थितः. So Lord also Bhagwan api Vishwatma. And what is the adjective for the Lord? Loka pathanugah Veda pathanugah. So Loka Veda Pathanugah. So whatever is the social custom at that time, and Veda Patha Anugah. So he was perfectly following the both the paths. So Dwaravatyam. So while living in Dwaravatya, Kaman Sisheve. So Kaman refers to this worldly duties or desires. So Sishive means Bhubhuje. He also enjoyed by fulfilling his desires. But in what way? Asaktah, in a detached way. Sankhyam Asthitah. So in the Tika for this sloka, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur explains that by doing this or behaving in this way, Lord demonstrated fifth and sixth opulence. So here 19th श्लोक विश्वनाथ चक्रवर्ती ठाकुर का टीका here. पंचम षष्ठैश्वर्ये द्योतयति भगवान अपि. So fifth and sixth ऐश्वर्य यहाँ पर दिखाया गया है. So विश्वस्य अंतर्यामिन असक्तः लोक वेदे इति. तो डिटैच्ड एंड लोक वेद इति शब्द का अर्थ लोक वेदयोः अनिषिद्धान एव कामान सुखरूपान. तो लोकोक्ति सोशल कस्टम्स और वेदों के जो आचार निषिद्ध नहीं है, तो ऐसे कामान मीन्स सुख रूपान इंद्रादि या इंद्रादि भी उपायत्वेन. तो वॉट एवर डेमिगॉड्स दे सैंक्शनड एंड गिव प्रेषितान शिशिवे भुभुजे अत्र असक्त इति वैराग्यम सांख्यम इति ज्ञानम. तो ब्यूटी एंड स्ट्रेंथ, फेम, नॉलेज, रेनंसिएशन और एक रह गया वेल्थ रह गया. तो पहले चार छोड़ के वैराग्य और ज्ञान is exhibited when Lord behaved in this way. Simultaneously, the personality Bhagwan api Vishwatma, so Loka Veda Pathanugaha, enjoyed life in the city of Dwarka strictly in conformity with the Vedic customs of society. He was situated in detachment and knowledge as enunciated by the Sankhya system of philosophy. तो इसका जरा पढ़ते हैं. When Maharaj Yudhishthir was the emperor of the earth, Lord Sri Krishna was the king of Dwarka and was known as Dwarkadish. Like other subordinate kings, he was under the regime of Maharaj Yudhishthir. Although Lord Sri Krishna is the supreme emperor of the entire creation, while he was on the earth, he never violated the principles of the Vedic injunctions because they are the guide for human life. Regulated human life according to the Vedic principles, which are based on the system of knowledge called Sankhya philosophy, is the real way of the enjoyment of the necessities of life. Without such knowledge, detachment and custom, the so-called human civilization is no more than an animal society of eat, drink and be merry and enjoy. The Lord was acting freely as he willed, yet by his practical example he taught not to lead a life which goes against the principles of detachment and knowledge. Attainment of knowledge and detachment, as very elaborately discussed in Sankhya philosophy, is the real perfection of life. Knowledge means to know that the mission of human life, human form of life, is to end all the miseries of material existence, and that in spite of having to fulfill the bodily necessities in a regulated way, one must be detached from such animal life. Fulfilling the demands of the body in animal life and fulfilling the mission of the spirit soul in human mission. So next two shlokas are like together. Snigdha smitavalokena vacha piyusha kalpaya charitrena anavadyena Srinike Tanachatmana. So, how Lord dealt with various personalities or other people. Snigdha means Krupayuktaha. Then Smita Avalokana. So he glanced with people, on the people, with Snigdha Smita. Smilingly he glanced on all the people whom he came across. Vacha piyusha kalpaya amruta tulyaya. So whatever Lord instructs in Gita, anudvegakaram vakyam satyam priyahitam chayat swadhyaya vyasanam chaiva Vangmayam tapa uchyate. So that vacha which does not create udvignata in the other's heart. So it is demonstrated by Lord here. Piyusha kalpaya charitrena anavadyena. So his charitra was anavadya. Papa nivartakena charitrena. So his charitra was completely sinless, faultless. And Sriniketina Atmana. So his form was very beautiful. Atmana here refers to Dehena Sriniketina cha. So it has connection with the next sloka, but still we'll read the translation. He was there in his transcendental body, the residence of the goddess of fortune, Sriniketina, with his usual gentle and sweetly smiling face, Snigdha Smitavalokena, his nectarian words and his flawless character, Charitrena Anavadyena. ये भी अच्छा purport है. In the previous verse it is described that Lord Krishna, being situated in the truths of Sankhya philosophy, is detached from all kinds of matter. In the present verse it is described that he is the residence of the goddess of fortune. These two things are not at all contradictory. So Sankhya and at the same time having beautiful form. Lord Krishna is detached from the variegatedness of the inferior nature, but he is in eternal blissful enjoyment of the spiritual nature or his internal potency. One who has a poor fund of knowledge cannot understand this distinction between the external and internal potencies. In the Bhagavad Gita, the internal potency is described as the Para Prakriti. In the Vishnu Puran also, the internal potency of Vishnu is described as Parashakti. The Lord is never detached from the association of Parashakti. This Parashakti and her manifestations are described in the Brahma Samhita as Ananda Chinmaya Rasa Pratibha Vitabhihi. The Lord is eternally joyful and cognizant in the taste derived from such transcendental bliss. Negation of the variegatedness of the inferior energy does not necessitate negation of the positive transcendental bliss of the Supreme Lord, spiritual world. Therefore, the Lord's gentleness, his smile, his character, and everything related to him are all transcendental. Such manifestations of the internal potency are the reality of which the material shadow is only a temporary representation from which everyone with proper knowledge must be detached. Imam lokam amum chaiva Ramayan Sutaram Yadun Reme Kshanadaya Datta Kshana Stri Kshana Sauhrudaha. So previously mentioned these four things. Imam Lokam and Amum Lokam Cha. Ramayan Sutaram Yadun Ramayan. So he gave pleasure to all the Yaduds in this world as well as in the next, and also gave pleasure to all the ladies. Reme Kshanadaya Atriya Datta Kshana Stri Kshana Savradaha. So he also gave happiness to his wives. The Lord enjoyed his pastimes both in this world and in other worlds, higher planets, specifically in the association of the Yadu dynasty. At leisure hours offered by night, he enjoyed the friendship of conjugal love with women. Okay, next. Tasyivam ramamanasya samvatsaraganan bahun grahamedheshu yogeshu viragah samajayata. So here, evam ramamanasya bahun samvatsar ganan. So इस प्रकार ऐसे रममान होने वाले भगवान. Previously 2 slokas are mentioned. So for bahun samvatsar ganan, for many years, संवत्सर, वत्सर ईयर्स के लिए शब्द है. सो ग्रहमेधेषु एंड योगेषु, इन दोनों में, घर में और योगेषु, तो ये काम उपभोग उपायेषु, काम भोग अरेंज करने के जो उपाय है उसको योग कहा गया है. इन स्पिरिचुअल टर्म्स योग इज डिफरेंट, बट अकॉर्डिंग टू द कॉन्टेक्स्ट हियर योगेषु मीन्स काम भोग उपायेषु च. एंड गृहमेधेषु, गृहे मेधा बुद्धि यही तेषु, घर में ही जिनकी बुद्धि लगी रहती है ऐसे लोग, ऐसे कार्यों से. विराग, तो विगत राग, he developed detachment. Samajayata, so he developed detachment from these two things. The Lord was thus engaged in the household life for many years. So bahun samvatsara ganan, but at last his detachment from ephemeral sex life was fully manifested. Even though the Lord is never attached to any kind of material sex life, as the universal teacher, he remained a householder for many years, just to teach others how one should live in householder life. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur explains that the word samjayata means fully exhibited. In all his activities while present on the earth, the Lord exhibited detachment. This was fully displayed when he wanted to teach by example that one should not remain attached to household life for all the days of one's life. One should naturally develop detachment as a matter of course. In Lord's detachment from household life does not indicate detachment from his eternal associates, the transcendental cowherd damsels. But the Lord desired to end his so-called attachment to the three modes of material nature. He can never be detached from the service of his transcendental associates like Rukmini and other goddesses of fortune, as described in the Brahma Samhita, Lakshmi Sahasra Shatasambhrama Sevyamanam. So this sloka is now important. Daivadhineshu kameshu Daivadhinaha swayam puman Ko vishrambheta yogena योगेश्वरम अनुव्रतः. तो यदा स्वतंत्रो भगवान स्वाधीनेषु अपि विरक्तः जातः, तो भगवान सभी चीजों के कंट्रोलर होते हुए भी और स्वतंत्र होते हुए भी खुद के निर्णय के अनुसार चलने वाले, स्वाधीनेषु अपि विरागः समजायत, तो ऐसे व्यक्ति में भी विराग उत्पन्न हो गया. तो स्वयं पुमान दैव अधीनेषु एंड कामेषु दैव अधीनेषु, पुमान यानी कि पीपल ऑफ दिस वर्ल्ड, सो देयर एंजॉयमेंट इज दैवाधीन. सो लॉर्ड्स एंजॉयमेंट इज स्वाधीन, बट आवर एंजॉयमेंट इज दैवाधीन. एंड इवन द बॉडी दैवाधीन, this whole existence of people is Daivadhin. So if this is the case, ऐसा कौन है? कह विश्रम्भेत, तो विश्रम्भेत का मतलब दिया है विश्वासम कुर्यात. So who will believe in the happiness derived by sense enjoyment? So yogena refers to gathering काम उपभोग उपायेन. कह Vishrambhet, who will believe the enjoyment derived by gathering the instruments for material happiness. So kaha, so same vibhakti का word है. योगेश्वरम अनुव्रतः, तो भगवान योगेश्वर का जो अनुगत्य फॉलोअर बना हुआ है, ऐसा कौन व्यक्ति है कि ये भौतिक भोगों के ऊपर विश्वास रखेगा. Every living entity is controlled by a supernatural force, Daivadhineshu, and thus his sense enjoyment is also under the control of that supernatural force. No one, therefore, can put his faith in Lord Krishna's transcendental sense activities, but one who has only one who has become a devotee of the Lord by rendering devotional service. So thoda sa modified. As stated in the Bhagavad Gita, no one but a devotee can understand the transcendental birth and activities of the Lord. The same fact is herein corroborated. No one but one who is enlightened by the devotional service of the Lord, Yogeshwaram Anuvratah, can understand the difference between the Lord's activities and those of others who are controlled by the supernatural force. The sense enjoyment of all animals, men and demigods within the purview of the material universe is controlled by the supernatural force called the Prakriti or Daivi Maya. No one is independent in obtaining sense enjoyment, and everyone in this material world is after sense enjoyment. Persons who are themselves under the control of supernatural power cannot believe that Lord Krishna is not under any control beyond himself in the matter of sense enjoyment. They cannot understand that his senses are transcendental. In the Brahma Samhita, the Lord's senses are described as omnipotent. That is, with any sense he can perform the activities of the other senses. One who has limited senses cannot believe that the Lord can eat by his transcendental power of hearing and can perform the act of sex life simply by seeing. The controlled living entity cannot even dream of such sense activities in his conditional life. But simply by the activities of Bhakti Yoga, he can understand that the Lord and his activities are always transcendental. As the Lord says in the Bhagavad Gita, Bhaktya Mam Abhijanati Yavan Yaschasmi Tattvataha. One cannot know even a fraction of the activities of the Lord if he is not a pure devotee of the Lord. Puryam kadachit kridadbhir yadu bhojakumar kaihi kopita munayah shepur भगवन मत को विदाह. तो कदाचित एक बार तो यदु भोज कुमार कई ही क्रीडद्भी, तो यदु और भोज डायनेस्टी के यंगस्टर्स कुमार कई ही क्रीडद्भी पूर्याम, तो इन द्वारकापुरी कोपितः मुनयः, so they angered the sages. मुनयः कोपितः, उनके लिए और एक विशेषण क्या है, भगवत मत कोविदाः, भगवान का मत जानने वाले, भगवत मत कोविदाः मुनयः शेपुः शापम ददु इति शेपुः, शाप उन्होंने दिया. शेपु verb appears जरा, but the meaning is also given in the Tika. Shepu means Shapam Dadu. Once upon a time, great sages were made angry by the sporting activities of the princely descendants of the Yadu and Bhoj dynasties, and thus, as desired by the Lord, Bhagavan Mata Kovidaha, the sages cursed them. So, इसका भी purport नहीं पढ़ेंगे. तो after receiving this curse, tataha katipayer maseir vrushni bhojandhakadayah yayuhu prabhasam samhrishta rathair tiva vimohitaha. So thereafter, after receiving that curse, katipayehi masaihi, so many months passed. Vrushni bhoja andhaka adayah, तो प्रभासम ययुहु, तो द्वारका से प्रभास क्षेत्र गए. तो now Dwarka is not visible, it is underwater, but it must be many kilometers. They must have crossed that ocean few kilometers by some means, special boat, and then they went to Prabhas Kshetra. So all of them were samhrishtaha, very happy mood, and rathaihi, so by chariots they went, and deva vimohitaha, being bewildered by Lord's potency. A few months passed, katipayehi masehi, and then bewildered by Krishna, all the descendants of Vrushni, Bhoj and Andhak who were incarnations of demigods, went to Prabhas, specifically demigods who came. Others, they went directly from Dwarka to spiritual world. While those who were eternal devotees of the Lord did not leave but remained in Dwarka. So although it is not coming in the sloka, Prabhupada is adding. Original Dwarka, so it is submerged underwater. So it is not exactly known. But we can guess, बीच में बहुत बड़ा समुद्र होगा, few kilometers पानी होगा. हाँ, अंदर. प्रभास सोमनाथ के पास है. So, हाँ, from Dwarka to Somnath. हाँ. पता नहीं अभी. तत्र स्नात्वा पितॄन् देवान् ऋषिंश्चैव तदम्भसा तर्पयित्वाथ विप्रेभ्यो गावो बहुगुणा ददुः. So how they were not impious, they were very pious people. Tatra snatva. So in Prabhat Kshetra, they took bath. And tad ambhasa, with that water, pitrun devan rishimscha tarpayitva. So जो पानी और बाकी ऑफरिंग्स पितरों को, देवों को और ऋषियों को, वो भी अर्पण किए. एंड बहुगुणाः गावः विप्रेभ्यो ददुः. सो वेरी नाइस क्वालिटीज होने वाले गायों को गावः विप्रेभ्य, चतुर्थी बहुवचन, तो वैसे गाय उन्होंने दान दिए. आफ्टर अराइविंग देयर ऑल ऑफ देम टुक बाथ एंड विद द वाटर ऑफ दिस प्लेस of pilgrimage they offered their respects to the forefathers, demigods and great sages, and thus satisfied them. They gave cows to the brahmanas in royal charity. Last two slokas, no? Hiranyam rajatam shayyam vasamsya janika kambalan वासांसि अजिन कंबलान यानम रथान इभान कन्या धराम वृत्तिकरिम अपि. So they also daduhu, that verb is also continuing here. Hiranyam rajatam, so gold, then silver, beds, then clothes. Vasamsi Ajina means some dari vagara, ajina, and kambalan, blankets. Yanam, बैलगाड़ी. रथान, इभान, हाथियों को भी, कन्याओं को भी, और भूमि, धराम, वृत्ति करीम. So whatever was required for them to survive or their livelihood, whatever was required to maintain their livelihood. The Brahmanas were not only given well-fed cows in charity, but also gold coins, bedding, clothing, animal skin seats. So ajina means animal skin seats, blankets, horses, elephants, girls, and sufficient land for maintenance. Annam chururasam tebhyo datva bhagavad arpanam गो विप्रार्था सवः शूरः प्रणेमुर्भुवि मूर्धभिः. अन्नम च उरुरसम, तो उनको बहुत सारा अन्न भी दान दिया. तो इट इज मेंशन्ड व्हाट एवर वाज अर्पण, लॉर्ड को अर्पण किया था. भगवत अर्पणम अन्नम. So Bhagavat Arpanam is the main Vishesha and Annam is Visheshan. So they give prasad to all these personalities, and they are Shuraha, and another adjective, Go Viprartha Asavaha. They were living for the sake of Go and Brahmanas. And they Murdhabhi, Matha झुका के, भूमि भुवि प्रणेमुहु. So they, touching their heads to the grounds, they offered their pranams to. Thereafter they offered the Brahmanas highly delicious foodstuffs, first offered to the personality of Godhead. Bhagavad Arpanam Annam, Yavuru Rasam Annam, and offered their respectful obeisances by touching their heads to the ground. They lived perfectly by protecting the cows and Brahmanas. So we'll stop here, exactly 1:30. So tomorrow and Thursday we'll cover 38 slokas of chapter number 4, in which now how this dynasty got annihilated and what Krishna spoke to Uddhav and Uddhav then spoke to Vidurji. So that remaining part of that incident will be discussed in next 2 classes. ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की, श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। उरु रसम
They thought that it will become good fun, but later they understood that the name is
चौबीस नंबर की चाबी उन्होंने आपको दी थी, फिर श्री भगवत से आप ने लिए उनके पास लिया, वो आपको देना है ना? हाँ, आप कर देते मीटिंग मैंने पी लिखा है। हरे कृष्णा। हाँ हाँ नहीं बोलो ना, हम केरल वाले नाम इकडं बांधण्यासाठी आले.